to make it alright like woo. Yeah, never let it know your dreams. Put it into a dark regime, transform the score machine. I ain't had no pot to piss and now I'm frying competition. Burn my way to top position, scared of heat, fuck out the kitchen. Let him cook. Let me cook. Let him cook. Let me cook. Let me cook. Let him cook. I'm frying competition.
We definitely are frying competition. We are yeeting tonight. Just watch out where you do it.
You yeet shirt. I'm sorry.
Stop.
Yeah, I'm still in work attire.
Listen. I'm not gonna lie. This is probably why I don't work for the district, because I can't wear shit like this on Mondays and Fridays.
I was gonna say you should be able to.
Not in Polk County.
Yeah. Well, you got to fix that.
Little dress shoes, little loafers, little briefcase.
Yeah. Now, shoes don't really matter. Like, we can't have jeans. It's like,
you don't need a briefcase either. You got a satchel.
Hell no, that shit go in a book bag. That shit going in the fuck? Nah.
Who said we put it in a satchel? So how y'all doing?
Doing great.
Man, it's a hot ass fucking Monday.
It's a hot Monday, and it's a hot Monday night because we've got a fantastic, busy ass Raw coming up tonight.
We do.
We got a little bit of information in the NFL this week. We have a few pieces from the Buccaneers. We also tidbit coming Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Another episode of The Plunder falls in, and we will dive very, very, very deep into the career of Shaq Barrett. And keep this in mind, because this will be a conversation piece. I personally don't think he's a Hall of Famer. But
Shaq?
Yeah, that's my opinion. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. I think he retired too early. I think the injury and the death of his daughter kind of took effect on years. Now, hold on, hear me out. But is he a Ring of Honor member?
He's both. He's Hall of Famer.
Well, we'll talk about
Miguel. I mean, I'll be blunt. Is he a first ballot Hall of Famer? No. Could he go in second, third try? Yeah. He'll make Ring of Honor first. We absolutely, he'll make that hands down.
Okay.
But, I mean, you can't really argue with it, though. If he went to the Hall of Fame, two-time Super Bowl champion. I mean, yeah, he set the franchise record in sacks.
Okay, I could get why Derek say that, though.
No, and I understand it.
Over his career, he had 59 even sacks, but 400 tackles. And his best sack season was that 2019 season with us, 19 and a half.
Yeah.
I think he goes in.
I think because
it takes a little bit.
In the Super Bowl run and the team leader he was on the sideline and out on the streets.
Yeah.
I believe maybe not 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 shots in. I couldn't tell you, but I believe at the end of the day, Raymond James is standing. His name should be in the Ring of Honor. Now, I can argue with both sides on the Hall of Fame. But again, we'll dive deep into that on Thursday.
Yeah, let's say we'll dive deeper on Thursday. And Trevor, you're more than welcome to join in with this conversation because I'd love it.
Absolutely.
I was going to say, because my little tad bit would be if you put Sack Barrett in the Ring of Honor, you got to put Ndamukong Suh.
Without a question, Ndamukong Suh should already be talking about going in there one year. Period.
I mean, I wouldn't digress that. Now
because I looked at them two as a duo. You got one and the other.
Here's my question though for both of y'all.
Part of who he is.
If you're gonna talk. Hang on. If you're gonna talk about Ndamukong Suh, does he go in before Gerald McCoy? Does he deserve a spot over Gerald McCoy?
Yep.
I'm gonna say yeah.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
there's not a damn thing Gerald McCoy did in Tampa.
Okay, so that's why I sat back quiet, because hear me out. I ain't got nothing nice to say about that sensitive crybaby ass bitch always kneeling and shit.
Hey, look, I'll say something nice. He was there, but here's the thing. I remember it was 2017, 2018 when we got mollywopped by the fucking Falcons at home. I remember JPP personally calling him out for dancing on the sideline. And you know what, man? As a fan, I don't think I ever really realized that until that moment. Like, until JPP called it out, like, the whole vibe in Tampa at that time, like, they were trying to get a different crowd in. So I really wasn't, like, opposed to it. But yeah, you getting your ass kicked at home by a divisional opponent, yeah,
So,
you probably shouldn't be doing the stanky leg on the sideline.
so
You
hear
want to
me
know
out.
what I have a problem with it? This is where I lost Gerald McCoy, because as a sportsman, you know, I try to teach my kids, and I coach Pee Wee League football and shit like that. And as somebody who participates in sports and in trying to influence young kids, sportsmanship is the number one goal, because that also breeds the kindness that we're supposed to be towards each other at all aspects of life. Now, you also have to grow and develop as the athlete in itself, but where I lost Gerald McCoy, let me rephrase that. Where Gerald McCoy lost me is when JPP called his ass out. That motherfucker didn't have shit to say. If he'd have come out, owned it, and say, you know what, we were getting our heads kicked, that was a bad idea, you know, I'd have a little bit of respect for him, and I would have no issues with him. I don't like Gerald McCoy because of that. You can be kind and pick a dude up off the ground you just put down there.
Yeah. You know what? Hey, that was
That's where I was.
That was the same game that Chris Conti disappeared.
Yes.
That was the exact. Hey, you know what, Brian? Knew Gerald McCoy picking that man's ass up fucking was gonna do something for us.
Listen to me.
Bro, Chris Conti disappeared after that play. Like, literally at the 50-yard line.
He did.
We need a petition. Hey, we need a petition to get a gravesite for him at that site.
I think Chris Conti's hanging out down in Tupac's mansion. I'm just saying.
Nah, bro, he's still under the hash mark.
This is my tad bit on Gerald McCoy. Hear me out. As a former offensive lineman and occasional former defensive lineman, you're supposed to be the nastiest, meanest motherfucker on that field. I don't give a fuck who is in front of you. You supposed to listen. They talk about the cornerbacks and wide receivers talking shit. Nah, get down there on that line and hear the shit talking.
Hey, you mean like Warren? Hey, I hate the dude personally because he's just fucking scumbag, bro.
Yeah.
Warren Sapp, bro, put that motherfucking nastiness in us till we knew at that point, bro, you needed that nasty ass nose tackle.
Listen, all three of us are Floridians, so we all know about shit talking. Anybody in the South knows about shit talking. But sir, Gerald McCoy, with that whack ass school Oklahoma, I'ma need y'all to step y'all game up, because there's no reason. The only reason you should be picking a bitch up and patting his ass on the head is letting him know, hey bitch, I just blocked and pancaked your ass. I'm coming back for another one.
Hey, but see, here's my thing though. Here's my thing. I don't really have a problem with him picking up Roethlisberger after he knocked him on his ass.
I do.
Because he was that close. I mean, he was that close, bro, to it being a roughing the passer call. So I'll give it that. Sportsmanship, you could have done that. My issue is when you stand up and go, "Hey, my bad." Like, what do you mean, my bad? Nah, bro, bitch, I'm coming for you. If I would have been like, yo, if you let that shit go a little bit later, I would have ate your ass for breakfast. That's what came out of his mouth, bro.
As a dude that like I get on defense. You know, when I see a good hit, I get. You know what I'm saying? So that's the furthest I can explain that. But what I'm saying is, that's the kind of fucking conversation you have with the opponent after the game when you're swapping jerseys. Be like, bro, I didn't mean to knock your fucking head off.
Yeah,
Man.
like,
But
hey,
look,
my bad on that hit. Like,
Right.
do you want
listen?
verbiage? Here's the kind of verbiage you need to listen to. Everybody, go to NFLfilms.com. All right, go search NFL Films and Buccaneers versus Packers. Warren Sapp versus Brett Favre. That's how you fucking talk to a quarterback.
bro, yeah. Hey, and let's talk about Vernon's comment real quick. Ndamukong Suh was probably the closest thing to Warren Sapp we had. And I'm going to say this. Getting Vita Vea the year we did is the same year that we swapped Gerald McCoy and Ndamukong Suh.
Yeah.
Oh, and the dogs wanted to be a part of the show today.
What's up, doggies?
If we would have had McCoy when we drafted Vita,
right,
Vita wouldn't be the beast that he is.
Vita wouldn't have wanted an extension.
I'll say this much. Vita is good enough to be everything he is today, with or without Ndamukong Suh. What Ndamukong Suh did was give him the ability to not only get there, but get there faster and be better when he's there. That's
Absolutely.
He enhanced Vita Vea, in my opinion. Him and JPP.
I'm not going to lie. You go back in that draft and you watch that draft. This is what I said. I was like, if Tampa was smart, we was making a phone call and drafting Ndamukong Suh. They let him go to the Lions and took what I felt was like laughable.
I mean, we took the second best, and there was really a wide gap between first and second best.
I get that, but you could have attacked a different position, and
we could have. I agree.
Our team was structured and fucked up at that point in time. We could have survived another season with no D tackle. I'm just being honest.
You know what? I agree. If we would have got if we still had a decent outside, you could have had two solid middle linebackers or something and kind of help plug that with a mediocre. I'm with you on that.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I got to make one last quick point, and then okay, we'll get to that.
I kind of like this, but I don't want to agree with it because I'm a big Vita fan.
Really?
Does Vita get traded for a hot cornerback?
He's not the one that gets traded.
And inquiring minds would like to know.
Yeah.
You move a corner and one of them young linebackers, either Hall or Yaya. I hope it's Hall. I would like to keep Yaya here.
Okay.
Move both of them in a package deal and hear me out. It ain't no star-studded, high-paying corner because we already had that with CD3 and Jamel both being high-paid. What I'm saying,
yeah, we still got CD3 dad lurking around.
What I'm saying is, you have to get a corner that the ball come his way. Okay, yeah, they called it, but he ain't give up no more than 5 yards. That's the kind of corner you need until you can draft the corner you want, or you can sign him through free agency. That's the only way. If you let Vita Vea go, I hate to say this, as a team that I keep saying we're right here, we're no longer going to be right here. We're going back down because that's, to me, is a rebuild.
All right, hear me out.
Okay.
All right, hear this out. I feel where he's going. Vernon's going. This is me. Now, I'm not sure about the cornerback because that also tells me that the two young studs that we kept behind Dean aren't cutting it. And that's not good for me, first off. I don't believe that's going to happen either. I believe one of those two guys, either Zion or what's his name? Second year. Izian.
Oh, okay.
I believe Zion or Izian will be, though one of those guys will be a very, let me say, top 20 cornerback. Top 20 cornerback.
I'll go a step above, bro. Top 15.
Fair enough. My point is, by the end of the season, I feel like one of those guys will be ranked a starting cornerback as far as the whole league goes. You know, that's how high they're going to be ranked. Now, that being said, let's move back to what the comment was about Vita being traded. If Vita is traded, let me guarantee you what's going to be seen with that. Kalijah Kancey is probably going to have Breakout Player of the Year award conversations. He's going to be in the top 10 in sacks, along with Yaya Diaby being in the top 15 in sacks, which I don't think that's right because I've got Yaya Diaby coming in the top 3 in sacks this season. That's my bold prediction for the defense this year. So from my perspective, if we're trading Vita, it's because we've already got something to go there. And you can have another edge rusher come off. Let's just say Chris Robinson shows very high promise going into the next season. We trade Vita Vea. We got Kalijah Kancey. We get a mid-round pick with in the trade package for Vita because Vita Vea is a top 6 defensive tackle in the league. And I'm not going on last year's stats. I'm talking what you want to, if you want to draft a defensive tackle, that's what you're talking about, right? So if you're starting the league fresh over, Vita Vea is going to be a top 6 defensive tackle in the league being drafted. Now, I can see that happening, but that means great fucking things are already happening in Tampa because if we're having a bad year, Vita ain't getting the fucking boot because of that. There's a bunch of other players that will get a lot more that won't cost us as much if we move.
Well, I don't know where he went. Up. Welcome him back.
Okay. Welcome back.
You're not supposed to hit the back button. So I'm gonna say this last thing before we move forward.
Right.
I can see Vita sticking around because of this. Levante's gone. You're still gonna need somebody in the front to help with KJ Britt until we can figure out who else we're gonna put in the middle. And I like where Vernon went with that.
Yeah. I could definitely see a linebacker. That's probably my biggest need. If you're moving in the trade market and you're not drawing some fresh talent out of the draft, I think either linebacker,
Okay.
or predominant edge rusher to go on the other side of Yaya until Chris Robinson builds himself up to be a starter because I don't buy into Hall. I don't buy into Tryon. Regardless of Tryon actually having a solid year last year for Joe Tryon.
I was gonna say, well, I mean, I get where you're going. I wouldn't call it solid. Now let's kind of we'll pick up more of this Bucks conversation though on Plunder because definitely hitting some good topics, and I definitely want to cover more on the Vita conversation as well.
Absolutely.
Before we get into Powerbomb and shit, let's talk about a knockout that happened over the weekend.
Absolutely.
Y'all seen that Jake Paul fight, right?
Yeah. I seen the clips of it. I didn't actually watch it. I saw the clips of it. I wouldn't pay for that.
Yeah, I kind of woke up and seen the ending of it too.
No.
So here's my. Before we get into this, didn't Mike Perry say he was going to knock out that kid from the Disney Channel?
Yes, he did. That kid from Disney Channel was going to get bullied and knocked out. That's what I heard.
Hey, so Jake Paul had a response to that after that knockout. Let's check in on it.
Hey, that's fucked up that you fired your BKFC champion. But
face of BKFC.
I told you that was going to happen. You know, I told you exactly what was going to happen. He was big upping his boy Mike Perry. I said, okay, Connor, like after I fuck up Mike Perry, then you're next. So Connor's on Twitter all the time. He's on his yacht all the time. But guess where he's not? In the ring fighting me. So he can talk all the fuck he wants. But the notorious MMA is scared of Jake Joseph Paul from Disney Channel. And I put that on my mama.
What did y'all think of that?
I think that was, I mean, let me start off by saying this. If I didn't feel that fight was fucking financially rigged, I would think that's a really, really, really nice fucking way to say, fuck you, bitch. I just whipped your ass. And hey, fuck boy, let's do something. But I don't buy into his whole spiel. I believe this whole thing is part of an elaborate scheme to get this kid better. Now, no doubt, do I believe he's going to be official one day? I think that's what he wants. I think that's what Jake Paul wants. He wants to be an official boxer. But right now, he's too busy making shitloads of money doing what he's doing. And I can't buy into this fucking charade.
I mean, let me ask this question. Let me ask this question then.
All right.
With this knockout, I know it's all rigged. I keep hearing rumors of have him get into the ring with a real fighter. Have him fight a real boxer.
Right.
We know what happens when he does, because we've seen that with the Tommy Fury fight. Is Jake Paul taking? I mean, does he have claim that he's not a shitty boxer? Because he doesn't look bad in the ring. You can tell this kid's taking it serious. I mean, it's the same feeling I got when Logan Paul joined WWE. It was, all right, it's about to be a gimmick. And then it was like, oh, he's not doing too bad.
Right.
Not the GOAT, not the best. He's not fighting real boxers right now. Like, this isn't WBC.
Right.
If you put Jake Paul in WBC, he gets beat every fucking time. Because it's not a YouTube influencer turn boxer. Nothing wrong with it. I don't want it to sound that way. Where I'm going at with it is the dude is fighting what is legit considered an exhibition fight. If you had him go get ranked and all that, the dude still doesn't rank as one of the top boxers. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree with. I would probably say I think he's taking it seriously. I think he's got talent. I don't think he's untalented at all. But let me go ahead before I go any further and say that the boxing industry, in my opinion, has been shit for 20 plus fucking years. That's the reason why I started getting into UFC is because boxing started to become a bunch of shit and a bunch of rigmarole and all about money. And, you didn't see, like in the 80s when I grew up as a young kid in the early 90s, like when you won boxing matches and big time boxing matches, out of every 10 big time boxing matches, like 6 or 7 of them, somebody was getting knocked the fuck out. Like a lot of these matches go 10, 12, 5, 13 rounds, 15 rounds, and your championship fights going to 15 rounds. And it's like, you're telling me that you got all these skills and all of a sudden in the late 90s and early 2000s, you can't get nobody to knock a son of a bitch out, because it's all about technique and skill. It seems like everybody's chasing money around the ring for 12 rounds to figure out how to capitalize the biggest bag. Now, to me, that's not about the sport. Like you take football or basketball, like, even basketball today, pride. These guys really want to get it done. Look at today. The USA almost got their ass beat again.
Bro, Team USA's almost gotten their ass beat every game so
that's fine, but hear me out. This is the point. When you're a star and you're that dude, you make it happen. What did LeBron James do today? He made it happen for Team USA. I'm not a LeBron fan at all.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not a LeBron, but everything I keep reading is, bro, he saved their asses, and I'll give him the flowers.
Bro, he's showing up. He's showing up in the Olympics now. I'm trying to tell you. I've been following the news. I haven't been watching the games, but I'm following the stats and all the all the play and listening to the interviews and post game and what have you. But like, the boxing industry has become really rigged, and I have taken a lot of faith out of it. Now, in the last couple of years, I got a buddy of mine here local that is big into boxing, so we talk about it, and I started paying attention to it because I want to have something to talk about it when he comes talking to me about something like that. We talk about other sports, so I want to be a little bit in tune with him in the conversation. And I've got a few boxers out there that I've been keeping. Oh, I like his style. I like his style. I'm more partial to heavyweights, but I believe in the end, right? If you put Jake Paul in the WBC right now, in 3 years, he's got a losing record.
I mean, you put him in WBC, in one fight, the kid has a losing record.
Well, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. I mean, I'm not arguing that. I agree 100%.
Again,
Capable of being a professional boxer and actually maybe winning a title. Do I believe that's what's going on now? No, I believe this is all a ploy to gain money and build his credential because I believe he's getting better. I mean,
if you really think about it, bro, I mentioned it. He's a YouTuber, right? What are they good with? Marketing themselves, building their brand.
That's
what they're all about. I really can't hate on the dude for building these fights. A lot of them have been under his brand.
Right.
All of his sponsors, part of them are which he has partnerships with, Celsius. They're the advertisements. So is it really coming out of his pocket? That's free advertisement right there. The kid's betting on himself all the way around. Everything that is included, plus him boxing, homeboy's getting a payday. Mike Perry got paid. I don't know what it was. That's not my point, but you know what? The homeboy bet on himself, man, like Logan Paul did, not doing too shabby.
He's not. I really can't wait to see a real official fight with this cat to see how he handles himself. I will pay for that. If you,
I'm ready to see the Mike Tyson fight in November.
I probably will pay for that because of Mike Tyson, just because. But I probably won't play it. I'll probably go to Grish or go to Mitch Bucktastic TV and get it on the low. But my point is, I think the first official sanctioned fight of Jake Paul's, I believe he's going to get his ass kicked.
All right. I'm going to go with that.
I believe he gets knocked out his first sanctioned fight. Because you think a real boxer, if they don't buy into this bullshit he's doing all this time, is watching him run his fucking mouth, and then a real boxer gets into the ring with him, that real boxer is going to eat his fucking cornflakes. That's my opinion. Again, I'm not a boxing guru. I'm not a boxing connoisseur. I'm not a boxing fan. This is just my opinion on a guy I've watched a few times and what I think the sport is. Because I do know some real boxers, and them motherfuckers take that shit seriously, bro. That's life. Boxing is life to these boys.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Speaking of cornflakes and eating your cornflakes,
I like cornflakes.
I just got another. Yeah, we kind of forgot to cover this topic.
Okay.
So I got a notification to remind me.
Oh, okay.
The outside leverage today posted as towards the Buccaneers putting up Baker Mayfield on one of the concrete pillars. They put up they put up Levante David, and they put up Mike Evans last week. This week they put up Baker Mayfield, and here's what the outside leverage had to say. Call it hate, but Mayfield having a solo banner at Raymond James Stadium after a single season is lame/casual as fuck to me. How do you go from 2012 and 2014 with Levante David, Mike Evans, and then since 2023 with Mayfield? I'm just going to say this. Dude's got a $100 million contract. He's doing what he was supposed to, right? I mean, he got himself on the banner. Why did I not see them bitching about it in 2020 when we got Tom Brady and they put him on a pillar and the dude had yet to take a snap for us? But yet I asked that question in the comments earlier when they had posted it. They commented back and they told me, well, Brady's the greatest to ever play. And so are you dick riding on the success of another franchise for the quarterback before they took a snap here? What if we don't win that Super Bowl? Then what? You still got the same energy? I want to know your guys' thoughts before we start power bombing more shit.
Trevor, you go first.
I'm gonna try to hit y'all from a business standpoint because that's what my degree is in, and then I'm gonna hit y'all with some shut the fuck up type shit. So
We got
first,
resources, pancake and power bombs, y'all.
so first off, hear me the fuck out on the business aspect, and I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. What do every team do? They market their top 5 brands. Who's our top 5 brands? Mike Evans, Levante David, Chris Godwin, Antoine Winfield Jr., and Baker Mayfield. You advertise the brand. That's enough for the business aspect because those names are bringing in the most money. And what is everybody trying to get? Some goddamn money.
Yes,
now,
sir.
here's the shut the fuck up part. Like Buck said, what if in them 3-4 years Brady was here, we didn't do shit? We looked like old school Buccaneers going 2-17 or 2-10. And
hey, I'm just gonna say one thing though, since you're talking about that. You know who didn't get swept by the Saints in the regular season? In their first season? Baker Mayfield. You know who didn't have to worry about the New Orleans Saints in the playoffs because we didn't lose to them twice in our first season?
Baker Mayfield. Oh, wait a minute. I got one for you. Who can win a playoff game against an NFC opponent? Oh, Baker Mayfield did. Because Tom Brady lost his last playoff game against who? Oh, yeah, the Cowgirls. And wasn't you supposed to be undefeated against the Cowgirls?
Yep.
But I'm not ready to talk about the Cowgirls yet. That's not that part
of
it.
We'll finish this conversation when we start plundering.
But real quick, to end the shut the fuck up note, who cares? Would you rather they put your big ass mama up there instead? Either way, it's there. It makes them money. I'm done.
All right. I actually like your perspective from like the business standpoint, like the money aspect and the business side of it. You know, a team's number one and number 2 goals. Money. Now, money is kind of like a 1A, 1B thing, and you can put it either way because championships is 1A, 1B with money. How do you win championships? You spend money. What happens when you win championships? You make money. So, in order to make money, you must take money and spend money. And that is called an investment. So, basically, for the idiots like people who hang out with me, like that's what Trevor was saying, a few minutes ago, okay, about the business side of it. Because you can arguably say that either Godwin, Baker, Godwin or Baker. Okay, Baker. You could arguably say Baker can be pulled out and put Vita Vea in there, as we were bringing up earlier, because of the quality of player. Now, Vita Vea didn't just get signed to a $100 million contract. Furthermore, can anybody name me the last Buccaneer quarterback that went under contract and got re-signed as a franchise quarterback with franchise money? I'll be fucking waiting on the plunder page. Tag me, bitches.
Yeah, actually, if you can answer that question Thursday on the Plunder Live, we'll do a $25 gift card for you.
I bet that. That's what's up. First person, that's it. First person to comment the answer to that question. And the question is, who is the last quarterback that was under contract for the Buccaneers and played well enough to deserve a contract extension or to be re-signed? That was a starter. I'm not talking about Ryan Griffin, people. I'm not talking about Jeff Garcia either, people.
First off, leave my boy Ryan Griffin alone.
Ryan Griffin is my enemy because of fans.
Hey, I can't say nothing bad about Ryan Griffin, bro. My
I love
dad
the guy.
sold him a car, and I've gotten to like talk to the dude a few times since.
Listen,
So I mean,
I'm a Jameis Winston homer. I watched him in Bessemer, Alabama. I grew up watching him on YouTube. You know, I watched his career. I'm a Florida State homer. I get it. But people were literally calling. Great. I already knew the answer. Vinny Testaverde. Be there Thursday, Vernon. Be there Thursday. As soon as we start talking about it, watch yourself, young man. Watch yourself, young man. There in the top right. Watch yourself.
Listen, you brought up Jameis in that school.
My
If you
point
would have
is,
just brought up Jameis, I would have been okay.
in the last 2 years, and in the last 2 years of Jameis Winston's career in the Tampa Bay area, I was a season ticket holder. I went to every fucking game. They were hounding about Ryan Griffin being on the field. And let me tell you something. The guy's a good guy. He's a professional quarterback. You can't take that away from him ever. He is never in his life going to be starting quarterback worthy. End of story. We can move on to some fucking WWE.
yes, sir.
Sorry.
And shout out to Corey for this. I have the official Raw rundown. And like we're talking pre-show, this is going to be great because it looks like we're starting off with a Gunther segment.
Oh, nice. Nice. I don't have to wait all night.
I would like to believe leads into a Damian Priest segment. Then we are going to get Ilya Dragunov and Braun Breaker. And the rumors I'm hearing is this should lead to a number one contendership for Sami Zayn's Intercontinental title at SummerSlam. So keep that in mind. We're going to get Lyra Valkyria and one of the lesbians, Sonya Deville, in a match.
We're LGBT friendly.
We are.
Do what?
We're LGBT friendly here on the show.
Oh, no, we definitely are. But we're also we're previewing a Netflix era.
Nobody's confused.
We got a Drew McIntyre segment, which I do believe is going to run us with CM Punk.
Nice.
The Final Testament is taking on Xavier Woods, Akira Tozawa, and Otis.
I remember that. They set that up last week. Yeah.
This looks interesting because this is where, following, you're going to get the Chad Gable segment. And I do believe, at this point, we're going to get some retaliation from the Wyatt Six. I believe we get more of this story.
A lot of people in the last weeks have been like talking. I've seen a lot of talk about how people are not liking the way it's stretching out, the Wyatt Six story stretching out. But if you go to long-term storytelling, in order for the matches to have more meaning than just just having two athletes in the ring wrestling, the storyline needs to develop a little bit. And right now, we're just getting to see the pimple starting to swell on the ass of the storyline, so to speak. So you got to give it a minute to fester. While it's red right now, it needs to get that white head on it before we start wanting to pop the shit and move forward with it. So you got to be patient and let the story develop a little bit. We only get one show a week with these guys the way it's working out now. So if you give it a second, and one PLE a month standardly, every 3 weeks, maybe 4, now. But, give it a little time because I really, really, really want to impress how happy as a fan and how appreciative as a fan on this end you're going to be when this storyline develops and it all unfolds. I'm telling you, that weird, awkward laugh of Bo Dallas last week is just the tip of the iceberg and how crazy this shit's fixing to get.
Oh, bro, it's going to get off the wall.
We got to get a banner that says, enjoy long-term storytelling.
No kid.
Listen to me. I'm not going to lie. For those of you that sit out there and watch Vikings, Game of Thrones, Grey's Anatomy, did all the weird shit happen right as soon as you turned on the damn show? Or did you have to get 13 fucking seasons in? Oh, you had to get 13 seasons in.
You got to think.
show that's got 13 seasons. What's the name of it? I need one. I need a new one that's last.
I was gonna say,
first off, Grey's Anatomy is like finna hit 20 seasons.
I like I said, 22 seasons or something. I seen that the other day.
but think about it. You got Chad Gable kind of forming a new little faction,
Yes.
along with your Wyatt Six, who's
Now-
still a new faction.
Interrupt you. That's funky. That 6-way match with the Final Testament. That's one person. I mean, unless you're smashing together the old and the new Alpha Academy, that's literally one person from each little stable. If you want to go there, so to speak.
Yeah.
I mean, you, like I said, put the Creed brothers in the Alpha Academy. I don't consider Otis a part of the Alpha Academy at all right now. He might sway, move in the same direction as the two others, Tozawa and what's her name. But as far as Chad Gable goes, Otis has got that for him. So I found that interesting when you said that was the match card. I'm like, really? Oh, that's a hell of a
I
team.
mean, I think this is where you can still keep, Otis and Tozawa as a face. You kind of, you throw them together with the new. You don't really have to put them together to do much.
Right.
I mean,
Interesting that you had a New Day member, then you had Otis, who is seemingly right now by himself outside of being with Tozawa and what's her name, and then you have the new Alpha Academy member, in one of the Creed brothers. I was like, that's a very intricate tag team right there to go against these guys over here in the Final Testament, and I think the Final Testament's gonna dog walk them.
well, no. It's Xavier Woods, Tozawa, and Otis.
Oh, Tozawa and Otis. I thought you said it was a Creed brother.
Hear me out.
Oh, okay.
For those of you, hang on. I'm finna show y'all real quick. Derek brought up a good point. You have everybody from little parts and bits and pieces, but what was key there was look at one person who's the main focal point. That whole match is low key built around Chad Gable. But what is it? Chad Gable is in two different fucking storylines. You brought in another storyline with the Final Testament trying to do some shit and get Xavier Woods to join. They're like the long-term storytelling literally places everything to cross each other. Just like your little TV show y'all like to watch.
I mean,
it all is like it ties in. It is not. We are not here to look at Chad Gable versus the Wyatt Six tonight on Monday, and then next week on Monday be like, okay, so what do we throw at them now?
Yeah,
that's what we had before. We was bored with that. We wasn't talking wrestling like that. Hell, it was embarrassed to be saying, "Hey, I like to watch wrestling." That was embarrassing for that weird block where it was horrible.
Yeah. And so once we get through that, and we go through that, we figure out what's next with the Wyatt Six. We're gonna go Pete Dunne, Bronson Reed. Which, from what I'm reading, Pete Dunne attacked Sheamus at a live event last week.
Ooh.
And actually, they did it on Raw as well too. So I believe this is gonna start setting some up with Dunne and Sheamus. Then we're gonna get our Rhea Ripley segment, and we heard that Mommy gave Jay the digits.
All I want to know is were her hash browns scattered, smothered, covered, chunked, topped, diced, and peppered?
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting because following that we get Zelina Vega and Zoe Stark, and then Yeet and Sami Zayn main event against Judgment Day's JD McDonough and Dirty Dom.
I will say this as a final note. I need the Mommy and Jay crossover because the way she said yeet in that video, I'm sorry, that was I didn't know I needed that in my life, and that wasn't on my bingo card.
I feel
Yes,
that.
sir.
I feel that. When she
I'm with
answered
you.
that question and went, yeet, I was like, ah!
Oh yeah, I was a little excited, but hey, we're getting Monday Night Raw.
before we get out of here, I want to do a shout out. I hadn't spoken with the guy. I sent him a message earlier today and told him I was going to do this. For anybody out there that does not have cable and you don't have the ability to watch Raw or SmackDown, even NXT, write this down. G, the number 1, BEASTY. It's a Twitch handle. G1 Beastie. He streams Raw and SmackDown and NXT. And he also, if you're a subscriber, you can get on to watch his Discord to watch the PLEs. So if you have a hard time doing that, look this guy up on Twitch, subscribe to his channel, follow him on Twitch, and you can watch the shit. I mean, it's a little uncanny because you get the commentary and the noise from the guy actually streaming. So it's a little awkward if you're used to watching a television show. But you still get to hear everything. You still get to see everything. So shout out to him. He's a big part of the reason why I've been able to keep up with the WWE the last few weeks. So shout out to him, and thank you for people like him who help bring this community the thing we love most, wrestling.
Yes, sir, man. I will see you Thursday on the Plunder, and we'll see you Friday night for Pancakes and Powerbombs, man. It's Monday night. You know what that means.
Yes, sir.
Shut up, bitch.